Bobby P rides again.
Oh.
We say so long to Sam Pittman. James Franklin yet again turns into a pumpkin. And a tie? I thought this was America. Welcome back to the B Team, a Tuesday edition, a Top 5 Tuesday edition. I'm Ryan Brauninger. He's Richard Zane. We witnessed quite a bit on the college football landscape on our TV screens in front of us at Kyle Field over the weekend. A very pleasant weekend for a lot of Aggie fans. A very pleasant weekend for a lot of fans in the SEC. I think that if you are an Ole Miss fan, you've got to be tickled about how things went for you in your game. If you're an Aggie fan, as we said.
Well, if you're an LSU linebacker, you're probably tickled too.
Oh, in a different way. And if you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, you're probably tickled. There are some folks that are the opposite of tickled, untickled. What is the opposite of tickled? Untickled. But they would be residing in Baton Rouge, in Athens, and
State College,
Pennsylvania, for sure. I don't know how you would describe the feelings of the Arkansas fan base, tickled or untickled. I think they probably like to be tickled up there. What do you think, Cade? You think Arkansas fans like to be tickled in their piggies?
Probably a little bit more tickled now.
Nobody is more tickled, I think, than Bobby Petrino. And that's how we're going to start this Top 5 Tuesday on the B Team.
Probably some volleyball staffers at the University of Arkansas.
Physically tickled, mentally tickled, emotionally tickled. However you're going to get tickled, somebody should tickle you. And right now, Bobby Petrino might be tickling a lot of things and a lot of people. Because, in the process of, I think it's probably 50-50. How many people Bobby Petrino's tickled in Fayetteville? Some people are very excited. I think some people are going, is this really happening? Is this real life? Let's just call it what it is, Richard.
Are they the LeBron James can't believe this is my life meme right now?
Half of them probably are. I think, let's just call it what it is, though. This was a mutiny.
A coup.
Yes. This is an old pirate mutiny. The first mate saw that the captain was weak going into the season. And so behind the scenes, subliminally, he created a subterfuge. Look that word up. And this reeks of mutiny to me. The guy, Sam Pittman, God love him. And he really seems like a good guy. Everybody in college sports media, in the college football space, has talked about how much of a real human being Sam Pittman was, how much they appreciated him as a human being, all that kind of stuff. And you know what, Richard? He came across that way. He came across as just a good old boy running a football team.
That's like I had the opportunity to listen to him multiple times at the SEC Media Days, and that's exactly how he presented himself. Loved to talk about the time he'd spent on his front porch with an old cold beer. So what he would call him. Mm-hmm. They'd always ask him post-game, very similar to some of the Mike Leach-isms that he provided in post-game press conferences. Anytime they wanted to ask Sam Pittman how he was celebrating a win, he's like, well, I like my old cold beer.
I think I'm going to enjoy me a little cold beer.
So he just likes to go sit on the porch, enjoy the sunset and the hills of northwest Arkansas, and have himself a cold beer.
So as this thing's crumbling around Sam Pittman, and there are various reasons, we've talked actually quite a bit about Arkansas, the downfall of the program, where it sat under Sam Pittman, some of the embarrassing losses that they've had over his tenure in Fayetteville. It felt like this probably should have happened last offseason, but they didn't let him go. And the moment that he hired Bobby Petrino as his offensive coordinator, it was just swimming around in the back of my mind, and I'm sure a lot of college football folks' mind going, this feels too on the nose, Sam Pittman. Like you hired this guy, his history, what he's done everywhere he's been, outside of Texas A&M, really, what he's done everywhere he's been. There's something bubbling under the surface here, and you put a cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah, and the cat did what the cat does. He ate.
Yes, and not only did he eat, he ate his way. And look, I don't know this. I'm just as pure conjecture of my reading of the situation, but doesn't it just feel like this guy had been working behind the scenes for this to happen?
Yeah, I mean, it really, really does, especially if his first day on the job, he's going to start firing defensive coaches. But I'll ask you this, Ryan Brauninger. Doesn't it seem like Sam Pittman knew this was going to happen, considering the language that is in Bobby Petrino's contract that prevents him from being named the full-time head coach? It seems this is the most obvious and likely outcome, and everybody in that room or in that facility knew it was going to happen, from the head coach to the offensive coordinator to the athletic director. Like, it's insane that we're here.
The Hunter Yurachek press conference was full of very head-scratching quotes.
And I know that you can expect a bunch of recruits to decommit anytime the head coach is let go. But if you're a recruit out there in any sport and you're sitting there and the athletic director, whether you are a football player, a basketball player, considering how much money they've put in NIL for Coach Cal up there, or a baseball player, considering the facilities they've got up there and the history of Dave Van Horn and that program. If you are an athlete and you are thinking about signing a letter of intent, well, I guess you don't have to sign the letter of intent anymore, but the athletic director is sitting there with a ton of cameras and media members in front of him, basically telling the entire world that the athletic department and the university are broke. There's no way you can go. You can sign up and go play for them.
That's a crazy move.
It's insane.
If you're John Calipari and if you're Dave Van Horn, you just got a huge hurdle that you're going to have to clear in recruiting. Both of you did, because that press conference is going to be cut up, diced up, and the sound bites will be presented in negative recruiting across all those major sporting landscapes. And if I were an opposition coach to the University of Arkansas in those sports, I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing. The head of the athletic department just provided you plenty of fodder to enhance your sales pitch against the University of Arkansas. Now, I think probably Coach Cal can overcome it, given his skins on the wall. I think Dave Van Horn can overcome it, given his skins on the wall and also the facility he's recruiting to. But the next coach at the University of Arkansas, whoever it is going to have a massive hurdle to climb, unless the next coach at the University of Arkansas is Bobby Petrino.
But he can't be. He can't be.
You're crazy if you don't think that they can rewrite the language of that deal.
Then why did the lawyers in that state write the language of that deal initially? They obviously don't want him to be their head coach. The fans surely do. But the athletic department and the government clearly do not.
It's a crazy move. Knowing what his history has been. And then, I mean, it is the most memed photo in the history of college football. Is Bobby Petrino sitting in that press conference with the neck brace on, his face bloodied and bruised, a Sugar Bowl hat on. It's still, to this day, that happened in 2011, correct? I think 14, 15 years later, it's still the most memed photo in college football. Can you think of a closer one?
It is, to this day, a little peek behind the curtain. It has been our group chat photo since it was announced, since before it was announced Jimbo Fisher was going to hire him as the offensive coordinator. It is still the group chat photo of our publishing group text.
I'm telling
our publishers, it's Bobby Petrino.
How many group chats in the state of Arkansas do you think have that as the header for their group text? Tons.
Better question is, what is the best photo in a group chat that you're in? Like,
I've got a close up of Seth McKinney's face. It's pretty good. I've also got my high school group chat. It has a close up photo of one of my good friends punching, and it's in the middle of a high school football game. Nederland was playing Beaumont Central, and the photographer on the sideline caught him. He hit the kid in the jaw underneath his face mask, and they caught it clean. That's a great photo.
What is your most iconic group chat name?
Oh, I can't say some of them.
I'll share mine, and I want to give credit. I want credit where credit's due, okay? I promise you. Complete honesty. I'm not lying. Our group chat has been this since the whole Halloween episode in Austin involving Jeff Banks and his wife. Our group chat, it's me and two of my friends, one of them used to work here, Pole Assassin Fan Club. It's been that for 3 years. Before the monkey bit the kid. Before the world knew who the Pole Assassin was. An elite group chat name. It will never change. Fantastic. Like, that's my best one.
Hot Dog City has been around for a while.
Hot Dog City's a good one.
Okay, do you know what Hot Dog City is?
I believe that I do not.
Okay, Hot Dog City is like when trying to think of a play this year that would have caused it. Nate Burkacher makes the catch at Notre Dame, or anytime somebody does something really sick in front of a group of people, and a still photo catches like the stadium behind Burkacher there at Notre Dame, everybody's got their mouths open because they can't believe what they just saw. That's called Hot Dog City.
Okay, I like that.
Give everybody a hot dog.
That's great. That's a great.
I got friends.
I've never heard that before. Good phrase.
The one when we went to Omaha was good. That still exists.
You can probably say that on this program.
Omahos. The Omahos. Just my team will take care of it. That's a good one. I don't feel like sharing the story though.
Someone coming in the chat.
Some are good.
Some I just think we need to avoid some things. Anyway, the Bobby Petrino thing. So he comes in and starts firing people. And what did he fire? 4 coaches? 3 coaches? 4 coaches.
Enough. He fired
the defensive coordinator. He fired a couple position coaches. My question is, and maybe he said it in his press conference. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really listen to it. I saw some sound bites scrolling through Twitter. Who's going to run the defense? I think they're promoting the assistant defensive line coach to the play caller. My other question is, does it matter? Arkansas has been so putrid on defense.
No, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing about Arkansas. If they're going to win any more football games this year, it's going to have to be offensive shootouts, like what you expected from Bobby Petrino during the Ryan Mallett days, during the days at Louisville with Lamar Jackson. Like, it's going to have to be that kind of football. They do have a very, very talented, I would call him a top 5 quarterback in the SEC right now. Taylon Green is a problem.
He'll throw it to the other team, and they looked so... Saturday against Notre Dame, you could tell that the end was near for Sam Pittman, not because the Fighting Irish blasted them by 43 points, but more so because if you watched any of that second half, some of these touchdown runs from Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, some of the scores by Notre Dame, the effort level on Arkansas was pathetic. These dudes are sucked. It's like 50% jogging toward the play.
They should have played that second half with the running clock. They should have played the second half with the running clock.
Let's not act like Notre Dame ran it up.
No, they didn't.
They ran like traditional offensive plays. They were going slow. It was 42 to 6 at half?
42-13 at half.
42-13 at half. Honestly, if Notre Dame wanted to, they could have scored 90 points.
Yes.
Probably.
They could have named their score. They could have named the score.
So
they could have walked around in the second half and still won.
Yeah, they were just
did walk around.
They were just not
exactly. Yeah.
The competitive spirit in Arkansas that led that you have to make a change when that's happening. When first of all, the stands are basically cleared out by halftime, and then you get the effort that they were putting on the field in the second half. A change has to be made.
Oh yeah,
I understand that. What I love is that A&M isn't the first game after the firing. You know, the new coach bounce. They talk a lot about that in the Premier League. You get a new coach bounce.
Mine's
but
done.
A&M is going to be the first game.
Is done. Our new coach bump.
It's so done, yeah.
A&M is going to face Arkansas in the first home game with Bobby Petrino as the head coach.
Nightmare fuel.
It is. I hope A&M gets there and they're undefeated. Because you know every time you win a game in this league, it gives you a little bit more wiggle room for later in the schedule, and you want as much wiggle room as possible. But Arkansas is on a bye, then they go to Tennessee, and then A&M goes to Fayetteville. That's probably going to be pretty rowdy, especially if they're competitive against Tennessee. But I still think people will show up because Petrino rides again.
Good one. Riding what?
A motorcycle.
Oh. By himself or with a companion?
Do we really think that's the story? Do we really think...
We know it's the story.
No. Do you really think he fell off that motorcycle and got hurt? Or do you think that came at the hands of another man?
I mean, that looks like his face skidded across the concrete for a while.
Does it? I thought it looked like maybe
I thought it did.
What do you think, Cade?
I don't know. I don't think I was old enough when this whole.
Well, you can look up the photo.
No, I've seen the photo. I mean, it looks like he fell off like maybe not a motorcycle, but it looks like he fell off something.
Or somebody pulled him off something onto the
Yeah,
ground.
maybe so. I don't know, but the neck brace would suggest that something a little bit crazy happened.
But is the neck brace an accessory? That was always my question. It's like, okay, like we come up with this story, alleged story, where he falls off this motorcycle. We got to make it look, a neck brace would only enhance that story or give it more validity, right?
Yeah, 100. That's definitely true.
Nobody wants to tell
100.
the story that, boyfriend caught him and beat the dog out of him. Again, it's all speculative, and I don't even know what the statute of limitations are on something like that. But the fact that guy, after sitting in that press conference looking like that, is back as the head coach at the University of Arkansas, it's like for people that are my age, so like I would say 30s, 40s, maybe even you, Richard, late 20s, I can't believe this is happening. I can't. It's almost like Kevin Sumlin returns to Texas A&M, or Dennis Franchione returns as the head coach at Texas A&M.
The Bobby,
except though Bobby Petrino had like real success there, best run of Arkansas's had in decades.
Well, I was gonna say the Bobby P saga is something that you could toss into like a media communication sport management case study one day. Just the whole saga, like how he was the coach. Then he has the whole scandal. Then he's gone, and then he has a miraculous run back to the Hogs, and now he's the head coach again. Real full circle, little case study right there.
The head hog in Fayetteville, and let's not forget how he left the Atlanta Falcons, how he's left Louisville twice. I mean, the guy's history it's fascinating. I'm not saying it's fascinatingly like good or wholesome at all. I'm saying it is fascinating.
Lamar Jackson won a Heisman with him as his head coach or offensive coordinator. Correct me.
Ooh, let me see.
I'm almost certain it was one of the two.
The head coach at Louisville was Bobby Petrino.
Yep, there we go.
I couldn't remember.
That's what I thought. I didn't want to say it outright and then be wrong.
He can call an offense, and we've seen, like Richard said, year 2 of Taylon Green, he looks way better and has been putting up yards in bunches, except for against Notre Dame. And he will throw the ball to the other team. The more that this college football season has played out, the more I'm a little bit more. I say this at the risk of Mississippi State coming in here this weekend and upsetting A&M, but I'm getting more bullish on A&M because I think Notre Dame's. First of all, we know Notre Dame's offense is really good now. Go look at what they've done through 5 games, 4 games, whatever it is.
Notre Dame, yeah.
So they put how many on Purdue? 56.
It was at least 50.
Yeah, and then they put 56 on Arkansas, and they scored 34 on A&M, 33 on A&M, right? Because you had the block punt.
24 on Miami.
24 on Miami. So I do think that lends the case that Miami and A&M might be pretty good. And then what A&M was able to do, I mean, A&M had Auburn in a pretzel. Jackson Arnold, he looked completely overwhelmed, especially in the second half. I don't like Hugh Freeze's body language when his quarterback is struggling. It's like he throws his hands up a lot. He gets look, the kids, you've got no chance.
He was begging. Hugh Freeze, he was begging for everything, and they got the benefit of a ton of calls. I don't think that the officiating was very good on either side, but you could tell he was getting so frustrated with the way that Jackson Arnold was playing that he was just begging for any sort of break from anywhere, whether it was warranted or not. He was... I can't use the word I want to use.
Well, the scoreline completely flattered Auburn.
Yes.
Not even close. A&M, we're sitting in the office watching that game. I went to the first quarter, then walked back over. I was sitting in an extremely hot area right in the middle of the, I guess that would be the east side first deck, and it gets real warm over there, and I was sandwiched between a lot of thick folks like myself. So I was like, you know what? There's AC across the street at the office. I'll just go watch the rest of it over there.
I will say, what was the first play you saw where you were sitting on the couch with me was pretty bad, and then you was like, all right, go away.
Yeah, I came in here and I watched it.
We did not sit together at all.
I sat right here on this desk and watched it on my phone, the rest of it. But there was so many opportunities for A&M to completely close the door on that game. I mean, you missed 2 field goals. We talked about all the total yardage, going up and down the field from 30 to 30. They were fantastic. They couldn't punch it in. The penalties were just nightmarish. And I thought, and I should have known better, that when Marcel Reed hit Mario Craver for that touchdown, and I celebrate like this, it's over. That's it. I mean, at any point, if A&M could have extended the lead out to 20-3, I felt so good about that game being over. And then you have the penalty, then you have the interception, and all of a sudden it goes from 20-3 to 13-10, just like that. And that was a penalty. Amajay Reed Adams was too far down the field. But A&M was one play away from blowing them out of the stadium from start to finish. Auburn was rarely competitive in that game. If the game was a pie chart, they've got a Richard Zane / Luke Evangelist thin slice of that pie.
Really?
You guys are thin.
Thank you. I think that's a compliment.
They got a Cade Bickham slice.
Bickham's the best athlete
speaking
in
of
this
cake,
office.
We had a great, I thought a wonderful celebration of Miss Elizabeth Sullivan going away party. She's retiring. Had her going away party today at the office. There was a big chocolate cake. Luke, we might have to put him on a calorie ration in the office. The guy eats us out of house and home.
He does, dude. Luke, I told you this. You asked this question last week, who eats all the snacks. I told you point blank it was him. I knew it was him. He eats nonstop.
I don't know
incredible.
how he does. So I walk in today and he's like napping on the couch because he had so much chocolate cake. He was in a chocolate cake coma. He's laying on the couch in the lobby, and I don't know if he was depressed because Aggie basketball lost a recruit to Tennessee, or if he was just in a cake coma.
Cake coma.
Maybe a little bit of both. But that guy, we got to put a stop to him. He will actually be joining me on the next two. You're out the next couple of days.
That is true.
So I'll have Luke Evangelist here next to me, and he wants to do an eating challenge on Thursday. So I might.
Of course he does. Somebody else is paying for the food. He's a poor college kid. He's smart.
I'm probably going to task him with finding the bit. If he wants to eat, he's going to have to find it, because I am embarking currently on the first 90 minutes of what are going to be 13 and a half hours of shows for me over the next not 13 and a half hours. Let's see, got 4.5. Yeah, something like that, like 13 and a half hours of shows the next couple of days for me. And that's just, it's fine. I'm filling in for David on TexAgs Live as he tends to some matters that are personal and like not anything crazy, but he's got to go do some personal stuff. And so I'll fill in for him there. And I am going to, I've never been a guy that has issues with his voice. Like, have to drink tea or honey to keep my vocal cords up and running. So I'm interested to see if they do eventually give out at some point between now and Friday morning. You cross your fingers, but if that happens, you're going to be filling in, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I'm out Wednesday, Thursday,
so you may be getting a call on Friday.
It's okay.
Once again,
ask a question and get out of the way, because the McKinney brothers are coming through.
Okay, so we got to do our top 5 list here on this Tuesday edition of the B Team. But first, we got to talk about what happened on Monday night. Sunday night. Green Bay 40, Dallas 40. We cannot have NFL games ending in a tie.
That was like the second best outcome for me.
That was the perfect ending, honestly.
It was the second best outcome.
Neither team.
You're right.
Neither team deserved to win that game.
You're right. We're sickos.
And that game ended probably as perfectly as it could have. I thought.
No,
I mean,
it's
just
how is that perfect, Kate? It's so anticlimactic.
Exactly. Yeah, that game was anticlimactic.
No, you can't. It's 40-40.
No, dude, perfect. I disliked the Cowboys vehemently. I disliked the Green Bay Packers vehemently. Perfect outcome. Neither of them are winners. Both of them are losers.
You guys are letting your fan base and emotional feelings blind you from the fact that what happens if it's the Lions?
I mean, the Lions have tied before and tied recently. Like, it sucks. Yeah, you're right. Oh, dang, we could have won. We could have lost. Like, I would prefer the finality of it. Yes. But
how should they determine these?
Should they determine?
Here's what I think. If you're going to adopt this soccer rule of a draw, then why not go even a step further? And soccer actually has a legitimately exhilarating ending to their games that cannot end in draws. After their overtime, what do? Penalty kicks.
Well, I mean, the NFL also has an overtime system in place where their games cannot end in draws too.
The playoff games.
Yes.
So how do they determine? They just keep playing?
Yeah, they'll play extra overtimes if they have to.
Okay, so that's fine with me. But if you're worried about player safety in the regular season, start them at the 40-yard line. Okay. Both field goal units. So a field goal attempt and a field goal block, offense, defense, and you kick it. It's a live field goal from 40 yards. One team makes it. The next team has a chance to make it or miss it. It could end there. And you just keep alternating until somebody wins there. And back it up. So if both teams make it from the 40, go back to the 45. Go back to the 45. If they both make it there, go back to the 50. How sick would that be?
I mean, that would be interesting. But also, I feel like if the NFL is going to adopt an overtime model where nobody can tie for the regular season, just make it the college football one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm just looking if they're wanting to be different. The college football model, I don't like the fact that it's alternating 2-point conversions.
Alternating 2-point conversions
so soon.
It's too early. That's my problem with it. Is like
give them 4 overtimes and then make them go for 2.
Well, and not only that, but like they make them go for 2. Like once you get to second overtime, you can still kick the field goal in the second overtime period, but if you score the touchdown, you have to go for 2 in the second overtime. And you can only kick the extra point in first overtime in college football. I mean, it's just, I get that they're trying to make it quick, but
then they should just go to
at that point just make it all
2
2-point conversions. At that point, just make it 2-point conversions
until
or start them at the 40. Don't make it where they're starting at the 25 and it's like you're going to kick a field goal from there. Like even college kickers are good from 42 a lot, right? Like move them back. Move them back. That's what I say.
If you start them at the 35, then it at least makes it like if they don't get any yards, it's a 50-yard attempt.
I would start them at the 40 and make them have legitimate drives to try to score. Or make them start going for 2 after the first touchdown in overtime. But I don't like the alternating 2 points. Keep the ball where it's at. Make them go for 2 every time. Or back them up to the 40.
That would be better. If you're just eliminating extra points completely, that would be better. Yeah. Most of them would end in single overtime at that point anyway.
I agree. But we can't have ties in professional football. I hated the ending.
I thought it was kind of funny.
So many people that stay up late to watch that, and they're like, "This I stayed up till
we stayed up late." I don't think I told you about this. So the people who live above us in our apartment complex, they are either Cowboy fans or they are Packer fans because it's a close ball game in the second half, right? Going back and forth, no real defense being played. At about 10:15, which is about when the fourth quarter is starting. People above us start vacuuming. That floor up there is spotless. I promise you. They vacuumed for every bit of an hour, and when the game ended, the vacuuming stopped.
Lucky vacuum.
I swear I'm going to have to leave during Cowboys and Packers games for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you don't know if it's going to be if they're fans of the Cowboys or the Packers either.
I know. That's the problem.
You'd figure it out probably in 1 week. They call that the lucky sucky.
What?
Vacuum.
The lucky sucky.
Vacuum, lucky sucky. That's what they were doing it. They thought it superstition. They thought it would help their team. Where do we want to go next? We can do the winners and losers. We're going to be getting to it a little bit early. I do want to talk about postseason baseball started today. Tariq Skubal is a hoss.
Amazing.
He's a hoss.
We went and saw him in Arlington on a Sunday night against the Rangers. Every bit as advertised. He is so much fun to watch in person.
And I think it's obviously the stuff is incredible, but the competitive nature he's built, he really is built like a house on the pitcher's mound. He's competitive. He's mean. It's so much fun to watch. Like if you're a baseball purist, old school baseball person, and you like pitching and you grew up maybe in the 90s when you had all those great arms that were dominating because they were getting to throw to a plate that was in physically reality, it was 17 inches wide, but it was getting called like 25 inches wide on both sides.
You're talking about like the 60s?
No, I'm talking about the 90s with Greg Maddux and Those even in the 80s, the strike zones were atrocious. And we complain about umpires now, but they've gotten infinitely better than they were back then. But if you like that kind of pitcher, Kurt Schilling, Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, Tariq Skubal is that guy right now. And I'll tell you who else is Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens is fantastic. I've seen him pitch in person.
The difference with Paul Skeens, Paul Skeens, there is some, not flair. It's power, no doubt, but like there is some fluidity to it. Like there's,
Paul Skeens got swag.
Yeah, and it's like it's not just all power. When I watch Tariq Skubal, it's like power pitching. We were just watching the Cubs and the Padres, and Mason Miller comes in, and the slowest pitch he throws in the inning is 101 miles an hour. The slowest fastball he throws is 101 miles an hour. Strikes out the side on 11 pitches. That's power. That's just. But Paul Skeens has got a little bit of. I don't know. Like it's like some wizardry.
He's got some more like pitch to contact.
He's got more pitch ability, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like he throws 5 pitches, they're all in the strike zone. They all dance and move. There's a little pizzazz to what he does. Like it's not just straight power.
You mentioned the Cubs and Padres. We were watching that game this afternoon in the production room, and Cade's like, "Who's this guy pitching for San Diego? I've never heard of him." Nick Pivetta.
He's been around a while.
Nick Pavetta's got a top 10 fastball metrically in baseball this year.
I didn't know that.
Like it is a top 10 hardest fastball to hit.
Yeah.
It's right there with Hunter Green and all the greats right now.
Yeah. Induced vertical break must be crazy.
It's insane. Like it's the RPMs on that thing is filthy. And hand up moment. Right in the 5th inning, the Cubs go back to back, and right before that, the broadcasters on ESPN are like, "Oh, the shadows." And I look at Cade and Kay, and I made a comment, and I'm like, "If hitting Pivetta wasn't hard enough already, it's about to be impossible." Cubs go bang bang, 2-1 lead.
By the way, the fighting Matthew Dawson's fighting Pete Crow Armstrongs did win the game 3-1.
I don't care about the Cubs.
Pitching has dominated these first 2 playoff games,
which means the nightcap's going to be like an 8-7 ball game,
and you're going to have
heart in your throat for 4 hours, and the game, even though it starts at 8, is not going to end until 1. And
it's crazy,
miserable tomorrow.
How the intensity of baseball just kind of the switch flips right when they go to the postseason. Now you're talking about the best players in the world playing as hard as they possibly can, where you just can't do that over 162 games. It's not sustainable. It really isn't. But when the playoffs come, and what a lot of people don't realize is you don't get paid a playoff bonus for going to the playoffs. You get paid a playoff bonus if you win a playoff series. So now there's more money on the line for a lot of these guys too. And to me, that's kind of the second level of it. It's the top level is we're competing for a World Series championship where a month ago, we were coasting into the finish line. And so now they flip the switch and the intensity goes way up. And so that's why I think postseason baseball, you can hang on every pitch because you can see the players are. And
the game is played correctly and better during the postseason than it is during the regular season.
Your sample size shrinks.
Well, like tonight or today, the early game, the Tigers and the Guardians tied 1-1 after 8. Tigers get the first 2 men on base in the 9th inning. During the regular 162, you're probably just swinging away, see what we can do, see if we can get a big inning, right? Nobody out. Perfect time, perfectly done, sack bunt, and they end up scoring the winning run on like a sack fly or something. Well, that doesn't happen in baseball anymore until you get to October, or I guess September 30th.
Especially when you've got the back end of the bullpen like the Tigers have, where it's, if we get a lead, this is probably over. And sure enough, it would have been over except for our guy, Javi Baez, and the Javi Baez experience. El Mago.
I completely disagree. That play, absolutely on
Torkelson. Yep, he's got to pick that.
Absolutely on Torkelson. He's trying to long hop it. From his knee up the middle?
No, he's not.
Absolutely.
If he's trying to long hop it, then he bounces it more than once. He was not trying to long hop it. He's trying to throw it in the air, and it gets an in-between hop. What I'm saying, because you cut me off and didn't let me finish, what I'm saying is line drive smoked. Okay, it's Jose Ramirez. He runs pretty good. He's still got plenty of time. That ball was like 104 off the bat. He picks it clean. He's got time to pop up. Okay, and he makes a great play to pick it. And I think because he picked it and the ball was hit so hard, his clock got sped up. He had time to come to his feet and make a better throw. Torkelson you can make an argument that what he should have done, given the hop, is come off the bag and just eat it. Just let it hit him, and it keeps the runner at first. So there's one out, I believe, correct, whenever this happens?
No,
outs.
he was the first hitter of the inning.
That's right. So they get a leadoff man on third. Then it's a punch out, correct? So the tying run's at third, bottom of the ninth.
Yes.
They get a punch out. Then they get the tapper back to the mound. And
there's a walk in there. No,
there's a tapper back to the mound because they get the runner out at third. And I saw baseball Twitter going, people that really don't know, going, man, I can't believe what a base running error. What they're doing there is because of the area of the order and because of the pitcher on the mound, they're going contact play.
Do you agree with the decision to have the contact play on there?
That's where the argument can be, but it's not bad base running. If the contact play is on, he did what he's supposed to do. But in that situation, for me, I think I would have held him. I wouldn't have had contact play on because of the nature of the way Vest, the closer for the Tigers, gets a lot of guys out. It's on the ground. It's punch out and on the ground. So he's going to get a ground ball. More, like your percentages say ground ball. And so that is playing into the hands
on a better ground ball than that, probably.
Well, but you can't. Like, it happens so quick. If you're going contact play, you're trying to walk into contact and down angle off the bat, you're gone to where you're trying to time it up where you don't stop.
Yeah. I'm agreeing that, like, having it on is a good idea. I'm saying that I'm agreeing with you that I would have held him there on that one just because that's the first out, and if he gets another ground ball, the next
second out though.
Exactly. Yeah. That was the first out.
Oh, I thought that was. I thought they had a punch out.
That was nobody. That was nobody out.
No,
okay. Well,
no.
Wait,
there was a strikeout.
Oh wait, there was a strikeout.
The play.
I'm totally wrong.
The Ramirez play was the second out.
Okay, with one out, contact play is much more understandable.
Yes, definitely.
With no outs, there's no way you put it on.
Mm-hmm.
With no outs, you got three chances to drive him in. You don't go contact play with a runner at third and no outs. With one out, it's much more understandable. It's just, hindsight's 20/20 in these deals. If you keep him there, you never know what can happen. A ball in the dirt kicks away from the catcher. You tie the game that way. You're splitting hairs here. It's just they put it on. They decided this was our best chance, and they got a tough ground ball. But that's, they rolled the dice, and you have to make that decision in that moment. We'll never know what would have happened. I guess if you want to say the game would have played out traditionally as it did, then it wouldn't have mattered contact play or not. The next guy popped out to end the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you're splitting hairs on that decision. It's just the game of baseball, man. It's just you had to have somebody step up at the plate and get the big hit, or at least with one out, get the ball to the outfield. Give your chances to tie the game. But, it reminded me of the way that ball kicked off of Ramirez. So Javi Baez dives, throws it in between Hop Torkelson. I don't know that Torkelson got a glove on it, but whatever. It hits Jose Ramirez as he's running by the base, and then he kicks it down the right field line. And if you'll remember, it's the same thing that happened with A&M at Minute Maid earlier this year against Arizona. Terrence Keel kicked that ball up the line, and the Arizona right fielder made an incredible play. Whereas the Detroit right fielder is nowhere to be found.
Yeah. He was.
So maybe that's where college baseball, because you're hustling and backing up, college games played a little bit different than the pro game. The right fielder for the Tigers probably is never thinking, he goes, I just played 162 games. This didn't happen once. And the one time it does happen is you're not running over there. So it does allow Jose Ramirez to go first to third after that ball's kicked. But that's what it reminded me of, was that play at TK. In Summerhill, the right fielder for Arizona, who got drafted in the first round, hustled over there, picked it up, and threw a dart to get TK out when he was the tying run late in the game there. It's just when the stakes are high in baseball, that's when I really dig it. And the stakes are higher in college games because you don't play as many of them, and the season's not as long, and you're vying for a 64-team postseason to best position yourself to get to Omaha. The big league level, there's not that riding on every single game. But when there is, like there is right now, it's as good of postseason watching of any sport there is.
I agree. Hold on. I got one thing, and then I got a chat to read. I think that baseball, from a fan and player perspective, I think the intensity increases from the regular season to the postseason the most out of any major sport in American sports. I think the intensity from the fans and the players increases the most between regular and postseason.
Richard, the only other argument that I may have on that would be hockey, but I don't watch any regular season hockey, but everybody talks about how good playoff hockey
Talking
is.
about the baseball postseason,
like
being
how much
among the best.
How much? No, just what he was saying was that Kate thinks that baseball postseason, there's a bigger ramp up in intensity for baseball regular season and postseason than any other sport. And I don't know about hockey.
I did so.
The NBA. I would say the NBA.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I don't like basketball. I cannot for the life of me watch regular season NBA. It's not very good. It's not a good product. It's all a show. It's all about the players and the individuals. But when you get to the playoffs, that's when they actually start playing the game more the way it's supposed to be played. That's a pretty big ramp up. Hockey, the intensity's there for all 82. It just gets ratcheted up a little bit higher.
Okay.
And you have to end because you have to play the same team 7 straight or for 7 nights or whatever, not 7 straight nights because they have travel days. That's when you get the familiarity with each other in those series, and that's when you kind of feel the intensity because something will carry over from game 1 to game 5 or whatever, and you start seeing more brawls and more fights, bigger hits. But baseball and basketball, that's where I think the game itself is played more true. And the product is much better in the postseason than the regular season. Well,
the old baseball adage is that you're only as good as your next day starting pitcher held up in that first game today because the Guardians caught and passed the Tigers for the AL Central crown in the regular season. You could make an argument that Detroit threw that away, certainly. But I think a fairly equal argument would be that the Guardians caught them. Like the Guardians played at a really high level. They caught them and passed them to win the division. It doesn't matter in game 1 because you've got a dude in Tariq Skubal who goes out there and wins you the game. So the examination of the Tigers' downfall, it was at least a bit mitigated today by the outing of Tariq Skubal. But a collapse that cannot be mitigated is what happened with the New York Mets. They were caught and passed by the Cincinnati Reds for the final wild card spot in the National League. A Cincinnati Reds club, listen to this, Cade, a Cincinnati Reds club that went 40-40 over their last 80 games, caught the New York Mets and passed them on the final day of the season to get into the playoffs.
Mets gonna Met.
That is an epic collapse. That is an all-time meltdown. That is something that will probably be talked about in that franchise for decades and decades to come. It's not the Miracle Mets, the 86 they get talked about, Buckner, the whole thing. Like there's a ton of lore about that. I don't think that this Mets on the other side of the ledger will get that much lore.
Yeah.
But this isn't.
The Mets do talk about their collapses in 07 and 08 a ton.
This surpasses
is
that.
Absolutely on par with that, if not, as you said, surpassing it. Did you see what Miami did this past week?
Yeah, they took pictures in front of the dugout. And
no, not that. Sandy Alcantara was slated to start Wednesday against the Phillies. And technically, microscopically, the Marlins were still alive in the hunt for the last wild card spot. They scratched him. He was healthy. They scratched their ace, Sandy Alcantara, from a Wednesday game against the Philadelphia Phillies. The Marlins lost that game 11-1 and were officially eliminated from the postseason. They scratched Sandy Alcantara so he could start Friday against the Mets, and they beat New York 6-2.
Love that.
It is all-time gamesmanship and an all-time bird
troll job
to the New York Mets. And the Marlins were the same team that knocked the Mets out in 2008 when they had that historic collapse in the last year of Shea Stadium.
And the Marlins have the second lowest payroll in baseball.
And who's got the second highest? That's the other thing. And
they spent $1 bajillion.
And all of it is accounted for right now. The Dodgers are deferrals. So Shohei Ohtani is getting paid he's getting paid outrageous amounts of money. Yes, right. But he is not taking up 90% of the Dodger payroll right now. Juan Soto, who was mid this year for what you're paying him to be, he was very good. He 30 year. He was not an all-star. He was not an all-star this year, and if you ask Mets fans, there was a lack of clutch in his game this year. He is taking up the lion's share of their payroll, so much so that the Mets could not they could not do anything to improve their pitching staff. They built a flawed baseball team this year, built around Juan Soto, and they lived a dream for the first half. And it all came crashing down because they have no pitching. You cannot win without good starting pitching in this game.
And Gary,
you have to have innings eaters. The Mets didn't have that. They had a bunch of bums. They had a bunch of bums in the starting rotation. The only good starter they had was Sean Manaea, who had a down year.
Well, and then the Marlins, they caught some flack. I don't think they caught too much flack, and they shouldn't have, for taking the photo outside of the dugout after they eliminated the Mets.
That was dumb. That was just
Ron
Mets
Darling
fans.
and Keith Hernandez, the broadcasters, had something to say about it.
Ron Darling's a loser, dude. Ron Darling is a loser on the call. He called the Dodgers-Mets series on TBS last year, and he sounded like somebody kicked his puppy time and time again because the Dodgers beat the Mets in 1988.
Well, it is.
Get over it, Ron.
It's certainly sour
bum.
grapes, right? Like, for you to have that type of reaction, for the Marlins taking a photo in front of their dugout after they knocked the Mets, what else do they got to play for, dude? They ended their season on a high note by eliminating a division rival, a club that, as we mentioned, the second highest payroll in baseball when you've got the second lowest. And it just comes across as sour grapes whenever you criticize them for taking a team photo after the game's over. Why don't you expend that energy talking about the epic collapse of the New York Mets? Richard's had enough. No, he's just working. He's working. What do you think, Cade?
I think that, man, I don't think it's in bad taste. I guess it's just funny. They're just trolling a little bit.
Yeah.
Like who cares? Just let them have fun. Like, they're the Marlins. They don't win that much, and they really don't even make the postseason that much. And that is quite possibly like the funniest division rival to knock out. Like, it's the Mets. Like, everybody knows that the Mets are known chokers around, the sports world. Like, everybody knows that the Mets choke. And so it's funny. It's funny to do that, and Mets fans can be mad, but
Yeah, I think
they should be more mad with the fact that they have to pay Soto $700 million.
and the rest of their roster so much money. And I think that it's just a deflection, right? Like, they need something to lash out at. It's kind of like, to a lesser extent, is like Baker Mayfield goes and plants the flag at Ohio State, and Ohio State fans get pissed. Okay, that's a little bit over the top, but come on, man. As a college kid, you're upset because your team lost at home. Like, that's why you're lashing out at this. If Ohio State would have gone to Norman and done the same thing, the Buckeye fans would have been they would have loved it because it's your team that's doing it.
Well, it's like when in another Baker example, it's like when the Kansas fans got mad about him doing the obscene gestures after all of their team captains refused to shake his hand before the game.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna dog him, he gets to dog you. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah, and the competitive spirit and just the nature of competition with these guys, stuff comes out that they don't mean. It's just heat of the moment. As long as it's not vulgar or, vulgar, and I would say abusive, like physically abusive, then whatever, man. Like, you don't think when these kids run out on these college football Saturdays, we just saw it with the Ryder Cup. Now, I had a conversation with a golf person, and far be it from me to call myself anywhere near a golf person, but I had a conversation with a golf person today that didn't think what happened at the Ryder Cup was that big of a deal. And I kind of agreed with him.
I totally agree.
Now, you shouldn't be throwing food or beer or whatever when the guy's wife is standing there next to him. But when you have it in that golf course, in that area of the country, like, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that for me in that situation, the thing that I think is fun is that the players, like, I saw some people getting angry that the players were like clapping back. They should absolutely be able to clap back and yell back at the fans in that situation. So I had no problem with it. Like, if you're going to talk, you better back it up.
Well, and from what I understand, like, I didn't watch one swing, one putt,
I
one
didn't
chip.
watch any either. I watched the highlights and whatnot.
I saw that, was it Keegan Bradley, the captain of the U.S. team, was highly criticized for the pairings. Like, he played the same pairings on the first 2 days after the Europeans ran roughshod over the U.S. in day one. He played the same pairings. And then I saw he openly came out and said, man, if I could do it again, I would change the course. I didn't even know that the captain of the home team had a say-so in kind of like pin location and stuff like that. I would need to do a lot more homework and dive into this thing. I know a lot of people care about it. Like they really do. And it was dominating. I'll say this, like, so on my ESPN app on Saturday, when I was inside Kyle and even during the A&M commercial breaks, once I came back to the office, I was checking the ESPN app for college football scores, and the homepage, the landing page was Ryder Cup updates, which I didn't really appreciate, but it was a big enough deal that a lot of folks that like ESPN thought it was front page news. We were talking about the Ryder Cup, and just like
brutal. Did you watch that at all?
No, but we weren't talking about the results, but just Rory McIlroy talking about the fan, and I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't see any. Honestly, I haven't seen what was said by the fans or what, but also all these European fans say some crazy things.
Yeah, the soccer stuff. The soccer stuff that they should be used to this. And isn't Bethpage black? Isn't it like? Is it close to Philly?
No, it's New York. It's upstate New York. No, it's Long Island.
Okay,
it's the People's Course.
The People's Course. That's what they call it.
It is a public course.
Oh, okay.
It's like a public park.
So it wasn't some country club.
No,
yeah, it's on Long Island.
People's Country Club.
What you've got is a bunch of Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets, Rangers, Islanders type of fans in that area. Like, what do you think's going to happen?
Fans.
What do you think's going to happen? Like, those guys they sell beer there?
Yes.
And it looked like everybody was having a good time. I saw that whenever they showed up to the driving range at 5 a.m., the stands were already packed. Like, these guys have been boozing all day. Like, and you get them that close to the golfers. I didn't think anything over the top happened. And I thought Rory a little overreacted. They played well. Golfers. To the victors go the spoils. I get all that. But I thought he overreacted. Come on, man.
I would agree with that. I mean, it's not an overreaction. It's how bad Keegan Bradley's United States team performed and how much of a Scotty Scheffler's the best in the world. He is.
Yeah, bad weekend.
When you play for your country and have the worst weekend of your professional career, that's going to stick with you.
Weren't they complaining about they didn't want to play because they weren't getting paid for it? Like
I don't know if that's. I
think there was something going on with the U.S. team and their contracts for playing in the Ryder Cup. They wanted more money or they weren't getting paid enough. I don't like that. Like, you get paid whatever you get paid, but you're playing for your country. You should take a patriotism discount.
Yeah, I would say that.
I hope that doesn't happen for USA Baseball. I'd be really perturbed if that happened. Yeah, we'll play, but I want more money.
I mean, truly, that does happen though. Like, people decide to sit out for different reasons, right? Because they're more worried about the game checks they get during the regular season, and any additional risk could cost them a payday or paydays, right?
Well, I would hope the USA Baseball guys. My hope is that the guys that are filling that roster, they got plenty in their pocketbook.
I mean,
already.
I think they do, but you never know what they think.
All right, let's pick some winners and losers from the college football weekend. I was thinking about how we're going to do this. We can go in any order we want. Save your number one, though. Okay, so if I start and I have, let's just say I had whoever. I have UC Santa Barbara as one of my big losers. We'll talk about them as a group, and then we'll go to Cade, and you pick another team that we haven't talked about. Cool? Okay, so let's go winners first. We start with winners on this show. I'm going to start with the Ole Miss Rebels. And there was a lot of talk about what was going to happen off the field. The over did not hit, as Lane Kiffin predicted, but I don't think he cares. And the over should have hit. The spread should have hit for Ole Miss. They covered, though, right? It was -1.5. I think
they covered. It was -1.5. Yeah.
But the over should have hit because Ole Miss, much like A&M did to Auburn, Ole Miss dominated LSU. I think there's something wrong physically with Garrett Nussmeier. I think Brian Kelly is doing all he can to hold on to the rope there in Baton Rouge. And I think even though they've only lost one game, there's a lot of folks wearing purple and gold across the Sabine River who've got their hands hovering over the panic button. And we've said it before on the show, for whatever reason, that marriage between Brian Kelly and LSU has always felt strained and tenuous.
It's not going to work.
And losing on the road at Ole Miss is only going to further that hand's getting a little bit closer to pressing that panic button. And I hope there's somebody between a team between that loss to LSU and the game at night against A&M in Baton Rouge. I hope there's a team that can further get that hand closer to the panic button, because it does feel like it's close to unraveling over there. But I think Ole Miss, huge winner. That's a college football playoff team.
They jumped 9 spots in the AP poll. You really don't see that. We're kind of getting to the middle of the season, right? We're now going into week 6.
They played 3 conference games.
Yeah, they're 3-0 in the league. 9 spots in 1 week is an insane jump. That is an insane jump. And they're doing it with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's a credit to Lane Kiffin.
They sent Austin Simmons to the media days this year. That was their guy. That was number 1. He was their dude. And now Trinidad Chambliss has come out of the woodwork, out of nowhere, out of left field, and he is playing like a Heisman contender.
So they're on a bye, and then they got Washington State at home because they've already played 3 conference games. They still have 1 out of conference left. 2 out of conference left. So they do have some hurdles. They go to Georgia, and then they go to Oklahoma. But even if they lose both of those, they can run the table of South Carolina, the Citadel, Florida, and Mississippi State, and they're 10-2, and they're probably in the playoff. But to me now, Ole Miss's season comes down to winning. If they can split Georgia and Oklahoma, they're for sure playoff team, and they're probably going to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So Ole Miss, huge winners this weekend for me. Richard?
I had Auburn on my list too, but I want to start.
Auburn?
Sorry, Ole Miss on my list. I'll start with a team that's a carryover. I believe it might be my first carryover from 1 week to the next of the entire show. North Texas, 5-0. They took down South Alabama in Denton. They get a night game at Denton on national television, not this ESPNU, ESPN Plus. They're playing on ESPN2 at night on Saturday against South Florida. And if the Mean Green can pull that game off,
Saturday.
Next Saturday?
Next Friday.
So they're off.
They're off.
They're off this week. So next week, they will face South Florida on a Friday night in Denton. If they can win that game and prove to 6-0,
the rest of their schedule is doable.
The rest of the schedule's cake. They could be 12-0 and be the team that gets in as a group of 5 team.
You worry about. UTSA will be good enough to compete with them. I'm not saying they can win the
Rice
game.
will be good enough to compete with them. Rice up for their first loss this year.
I worry about
this
Navy.
week. Navy's good. Navy's undefeated. That's one of the teams too. Like North Texas, if they can win next week against South Florida, they will be in a great spot. There's currently no group of 5 team ranked in the AP Top 25. And now I know the AP poll is irrelevant when it comes to deciding the college football playoff Top 25 and all of that, because the committee will put their own rankings together. They're not beholden to what the coaches poll or the AP poll say. I understand that. But who are the group of 5 teams that have really impressed you so far?
Well, the only other one that I'm looking at is also in the state of Texas.
And they are?
Texas State.
Texas State. Well, Texas
They've got
State,
a loss.
North Texas is currently getting votes. Texas State is not. There are only 2 teams ahead of North Texas in the group of 5 ranks that are receiving more votes. Can you name them?
Ooh.
2 teams.
I can't off the top of my head.
South Florida and Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis will have a shout.
Memphis will have a shout, and they're in the same league.
Yeah.
They're in different leagues. Sorry, Conference USA versus American. So that'll be interesting to watch. North Texas, good for them. It's interesting that Denton is catching a college football fever right now, and that's exciting. I think that's good for the game. I think it's good for the state of Texas.
Texas State, potential 10-win team. Looking at their schedule. Arkansas State, Troy, Marshall, James Madison, Louisiana, Southern Miss, Monroe, and South Al. They can get to 10. It could be a really good year for college football in the state of Texas. At least I'm hoping that. I don't really care about the rest of the state. I just care about this team across the street. But when you're trying to extrapolate all this out between A&M, Texas, Texas Tech, TCU dropped a heartbreaker they should not have lost. And you mentioned UNT, Texas State. I think it'd be a really good year for the Republic of Texas in college football. Cade, you got a top 5 winner for the week.
Yeah, I was. Ole Miss was also on my list. I had them at like 2, but I will go with You know what? I'll go with Virginia. To start. I'll go with Virginia to start. That was a huge win. That was an awesome, a really awesome crowd storming or a field storming.
It was immediate.
It was immediate. It was pretty electric. That was a huge win for that program. That team looks pretty good. Chandler Morris. We were mentioning the Mean Green. That's a Mean Green transfer at quarterback for Virginia, and they held serve with Florida State at home. That's a good Florida State team. That's a big win, and that puts them in some sort of, I guess, like in a little bit of a conversation in the ACC.
Well, the ACC is trending toward being a one bid league.
Yeah,
because nobody else outside of Miami can figure it out. And I think if you're an SEC fan, you want the ACC to be a one bid league.
It's an important week
because it's going to end up. If it could look like one from the ACC and then 5 and 4 split between the Big Ten, so 9 split between the Big Ten and the SEC. If the ACC is going to be a one bid league,
important week in the ACC
coming up. I haven't even
Miami versus Florida State.
Miami FSU is this week. Yeah.
God, I've just seen nothing that would make me think Florida State's going to win that game, but it's college football.
Yeah, Cade, you said this is a good Florida State team. I think I would categorize them as improved over last year, obviously, right? They went 2-10 the year before. I think Mike Norvell has kind of saved his job. He's kind of good to go. I think things are beginning to trend in the right direction in Tallahassee under that regime. I'm not convinced that's a good team, and I know what they did to Alabama in week 1. But right now, those two teams, the Tide and the Noles, are trending in opposite directions.
Well, it's a good segue because my next winner of the weekend, the Alabama Crimson Tide. And
also on my list.
Watching that game, I would throw them in the hat with A&M and Ole Miss. I think Alabama could have won that game by more. I thought they were the better team from start to finish. I thought they liked the more likely team to win for the vast majority of that game. I thought Ty Simpson has re-entered the Heisman discussion. Ryan Grubb, was awesome, the play caller for Alabama. I thought he was really locked in. That final first down conversion, I've never seen a play like that where it's like a 2-step fake rollout. Then he just pivots in the pocket and spins and sprints out the other way. And so you've out-leveraged the defense that way, and it gets an easy completion for a first down. I thought Bama was awesome, and they were clearly had a bad day in Tallahassee, but that team that played Saturday night in Athens can run the table.
That Alabama team, the way they played this week and for really the last couple of weeks, that team looks like the best team in the SEC.
I don't disagree.
And I think they're right up there. They should be right up there in all of your power rankings with Ole Miss after this week, with Texas A&M after this week, with Georgia always, with Tennessee, right?
Boy, Georgia's close, though. Georgia is a missed field goal away from having 2 conference losses.
But they don't.
The margins are super fine, but there might be some more chinks in the armor for Georgia this year than we've seen in a while.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. That Bama team, who would have thought before the season that Ryan Williams would maybe be the wide receiver 3 on that football team? That's wild.
He had a couple of huge catches the other day.
He did. That's very true. But I believe it's Bernard and Horton are the other two. They looked really, really
Isaiah
good.
Horton, a kid that A&M talked to in the portal.
Yeah, they looked really, really good against Georgia.
All right, Cade, you got any more? I got a few more.
I got a couple. Let me see. Yeah, I got one more that I'll add before my number 1. Iowa State. I think Iowa State was on my list.
Good call.
I have Iowa State there because they've held serve all year. They've beaten who they were supposed to beat. We all thought that they might have been on upset alert this last week, correct?
Yeah, I had them.
And they proved us wrong.
They cruised.
They cruised. That's a good football team. They're in the Big 12 driver's seat right now. All they got to do is
I would pick Texas Tech.
Oh, good point. Texas Tech is in the driver's seat, but they're firmly in the conversation though.
And another undefeated team. We're going to pick this game later this week. Another undefeated Big 12 team in the state of Texas. University of Houston Cougars.
Impressive.
They looked like they were dead in the water, and it was going to be one of the worst losses by a P4 school of the season on the road in Corvallis. They were dead. And Connor Wigman caught fire late in back-to-back touchdown drives to get it to overtime, and the Cougs win and now set up an undefeated matchup with Texas Tech this weekend. Now, I think the Red Raiders will roll them, but U of H is another team to add to that mix in the state of Texas, having really, really good seasons so far. Richard, you got another big winner?
The Oregon Ducks.
Yep.
The Oregon Ducks, Dan Lanning and company, man, they look good.
Hey, you know, if you're tired
really
at the
good.
end of the week, maybe you can get on whatever Dan Lanning is on. That was crazy. What did he like?
He was so dialed.
Did he know that he was on camera?
I have
like
no idea.
He has to
That
know
was
that whenever
crazy.
he acts that way, that there is going to be accusations that he's a snowboarder.
Likes to hit the slopes, I guess.
Can we use the term skier instead as a snowboarder? Can we switch the term?
No,
Cade.
we can't for
Fine.
some other reasons. That was a wild post-game interview. His mannerisms certainly looked as if he was hopped up on something. I'm not saying that he was, but it could be perceived that way. But I said it going into the game. I thought Oregon was the best team in the country. And I'm not saying that
They're
they
definitely the class of the Big Ten.
I'm not saying that they
Definitely
did
the class of the Big
anything
Ten.
to stamp like approval on that. That was just my opinion. But they did make enough plays, and I think we're going to get to the flip side of that. But Oregon made the plays to win the game and a whiteout across the country in Happy Valley. And Oregon's on my list too.
Oregon is number one on my list. I was thoroughly impressed with Dante Moore in that game.
I think
thoroughly
he's good,
impressed.
man.
He's a dog.
Yep.
He was making all the throws from all the different arm angles. He looked very calm, cool, and collected. Even in especially in overtime, he looked on that last touchdown throw that he made. He evaded the pressure, rolled out to the right, put it right on the money. There was nobody around him. Walked in for the touchdown.
Yep.
So Oregon's off this week. Okay, they have a bye. Then they get to host Indiana, which I'm not sure is for real or not. We're going to find out. But if Oregon can get through that, and it projects to be a top 10 game at Autzen, they can get through that. Look at the rest of their schedule. Not a single ranked opponent the rest of the way until they get to the Big Ten championship game, which at this point in time, I think it's okay to assume is most likely going to be Ohio State.
Boy, how much effort do either of those teams put into that Big Ten title game if they're both undefeated going into it?
Well, if you lose, you get the home game. Right, like if you lose your conference championship game, the consolation prize is a home playoff game.
I know it's interesting. That's going to be an interesting dynamic if that happens.
Yeah,
but Oregon, I think they're going to go undefeated.
It'll be hard for Ohio State to beat Michigan, though.
I actually have Ohio State as one of my winners this week too.
Really?
Yeah, because there are a lot of folks putting them on upset alert too, going back across the country to Washington. Damon Williams, the quarterback for the Huskies, getting a lot of love. Jed Fish, I was on here saying something to keep an eye on, and they went up there and just kind of handled business. It was never super competitive. I think 24-6 final. Jeremiah Smith scored. Julian Sand looks like he's getting better each week. The game's slowing down for him. We know what kind of talent that they have on defense. Ohio State looks like they're going to cruise. You never say they're going to cruise because they got Michigan on the schedule and they've had some real problems with the Wolverines. But
Ryan Day can't beat Michigan.
I think he can beat everybody else on his schedule.
Ryan Day can't beat Michigan.
And so did anybody have a team on their list that we have not discussed?
Nope.
Yep, my number one was Virginia.
I did. I had Texas A&M on my list.
Nice.
Because the defense showed out, answered some questions.
Okay.
That was a win.
I thought they proved a lot. They are now a top 40 unit in the country in total defense. Now, and they did it against a guy who has made his name as an offensive guru. Now, I'm not. Of course, you can make the argument that the game may or may not have passed old solicitation freeze by, but we'll see.
He's a solicitor, huh? You're talking about showing up at your door and trying to sell you
yes, of course,
carpet cleaner.
Oh, actually, I think Hugh Freeze, he's going to show up at your door and sell you snake oil.
Let's just do our number one loser. I think we're all unanimous here.
Well,
are we all unanimous?
It might be. Well, it's probably pretty close to unanimous. Mine's a little bit more specific.
James Franklin?
No.
I think Cade and I have the same one. Is it an individual?
It is an individual.
Go ahead, Cade. You can have
Drew Aller. Oh my gosh, he stinks. He's
Football
so
terrorist.
bad. He is so bad. It was a fantastic, a brilliant hate watch on Saturday night for me.
What's amazing? What's
is
amazing
horrible.
about this, Cade, is they're down. Like, they're dead in the water, and somehow Drew Aller and Penn State get the game
threw
to
one
overtime.
dime. The one touchdown
That
pass
was the
a
only
dime.
good throw he
gets him
made
to
all
overtime,
game.
But he gets him to overtime, and he's got a chance to beat a top 10 team and win. Finally win a big game at Penn State. Finally, we're going to have the breakthrough under James Franklin. And then the football terrorist takes over again, throws a duck to the Ducks, and loses. So bad that the entire student section on their way out of Beaver Stadium is chanting F Drew Aller.
And James Franklin turns into a pumpkin in big games.
Bums,
He's
dude.
a pumpkin.
Bums.
So we were all Penn State adjacent on our number one. So we just throw the Nittany Lions into our number one biggest loser because yet again it's the same story. And look, we've seen it here at A&M, and we've been the butt of these jokes too. But James Franklin has literally been on the precipice of this thing so many times, and it's the same song, different verse. The last throw, the interception in overtime. What is he thinking?
What a horrible throw! I mean, there's a receiver there, but how does he not see that guy underneath? How does he not see him at all? Where's the tunnel vision is insane.
Yes, when you look at the replay, there's 3 white jerseys in that area.
It was gonna be a hospital ball regardless.
Yes, if it gets through to the receiver, he's going to get his head taken off on the sideline.
I think this is it. Penn State's done. That loss kind of seals it. They get 3 cupcake games the next 3 games. It's UCLA, Northwestern, and Iowa. And then we get to face the Ohio State Buckeyes and then the Indiana Hoosiers, who look better than Penn State. They've definitely got a better quarterback than Penn State. Penn State, you're done. You're a 3-loss team. You're not going to the college football playoff. James Franklin, it struck midnight. It's over. Next.
I don't think that I'm not certain that they are going to lose to Indiana, but to me, a 10-2 Penn State shouldn't get in. That schedule's it's a joke.
It's so
if they
bad.
go 10-2, let's just say they beat Indiana and they lose to Ohio State. Give me their good win. It's Indiana.
And then I guess you could make the argument for Nebraska because Nebraska's later on the schedule. We know that Nebraska's not very good.
The same could be said for Notre Dame at this point, to be honest. They no longer have a ranked team on their schedule. Yeah, but what I think is going to happen to Notre
Dame is I think they're going to blast everybody.
That's fair. If they can absolutely destroy everyone who's left on their schedule, then they will have made a good enough case hey, we lost to these 2 teams by 4 combined points. We beat everybody else by a combined 270.
Yeah,
then that's different, but I just don't see Penn State doing that to anybody on either of the other 2 good teams on their schedule. Well, they would need to probably blow Indiana and or Ohio State out of the water.
They need USC to be good. Notre Dame needs USC to be good.
USC stinks.
I know, but they need. What I'm saying is they need them to be good though, so it helps their resume. But I don't think. Do you really think a 10-2 Notre Dame team is not getting in the playoff?
No, they're in.
I think they're in.
They're in. It's Notre Dame, dude.
Brand matters.
It's absolutely Notre Dame. Brand matters. We saw it in 2020, man. A&M's resume in 2020 was significantly more deserving of being the 4 seed than Notre Dame, and they got in. Notre Dame, it's gonna happen. Prepare yourselves for it. 10-2 Notre Dame's in the playoff.
All right, other loser for me, USC. We just talked about them. They lose. They go halfway across the country and lose to Illinois. I was on the wrong end of that one. Hand up. We're a hand up show. I was wrong about the Trojans. I thought they'd go in. I liked what I saw when I watched them against Michigan State. I thought Maeva had figured some things out. They go into a team that just lost by 53, and then they lose themselves on the road. Lincoln Riley, that's another one. How antsy is he going to get out of Los Angeles? I just don't. That doesn't feel like a great mesh there. Never has.
He's got NFL written all over him, low key.
NFL, or what if he wants to come back closer to home? He is from Muleshoe. Wouldn't that be something if the head coach at USC left Los Angeles for Waco, Texas? I'm not saying it would happen.
Ugh.
But what if he just wants to get back home?
Well,
what a horrible life choice that would be.
Baylor is a Nike school. You can have some dry fit shirts.
Okay, I guess I'll give one of my other one of my other losers from this weekend is going to be Kirby Smart. That dude cannot beat Alabama.
He got an Alabama problem. It's been said 1,000 times.
Problem.
Sticking with Cade, I've got 2 coaches on my list. Brian Kelly, dude, shut your mouth. Like, what are you doing running your mouth about the Magnolia Trophy on your radio show so that Lane Kiffin, the troll of all trolls in college football, can post a clip of the quote of your whatever soundbite you thought you were giving after beating your brakes off. And then the other coach I have to give it to is because it's the same thing I gave Mike Gundy 2 weeks ago, Sam Pittman. If you get fired early in the season, you're on my loser list. The only team I have on my list.
I do feel a little bit sorry for Mike Gundy and Sam Pittman. Like, end of some eras. Good dudes. Good dudes.
The only team I have on my list that isn't Penn State related is Florida State. Even if they get to 10-2, that resume is gonna be pretty thin.
That Bama win may save them. And it may be the
Virginia loss to me significantly outweighs the Alabama win.
Well, let's look at this point. UVA's schedule here. Virginia football schedule, because I'll be honest, I don't know what the Wahoo's got. They are on the road at Louisville this week, very losable. They have Washington State's playing a weird schedule, but they have to because they're not in the league. So they've got Virginia. Virginia's got UNC, Cal, Wake, Duke, who looks pretty good, and Vatech, who's awful. So, Virginia could be a 10-win team.
Is it crazy to say that they could run the table with that schedule?
No. I don't think so.
They have a horrible loss.
Their one loss is to NC State by 4.
NC State's dog water.
Dog water. Hot dog water.
I don't know. Maybe I just don't think of NC State as like a horrid football program.
I mean, Cal, I know they lost. They have a horrific loss to San Diego State, but that's on the road across the country. That could be a loss. Duke looks pretty good. Like, I'm not dead set that they're going to run the table. They could certainly lose to Louisville on the road this week.
Definitely true. That league is going to be pretty weird.
Yeah, again, if you're an SEC fan, you need the ACC to eat its own. I don't think I have anybody on my losers list that we have not discussed.
Oh, I have TCU on mine.
Ugh.
I just have them on there because I thought they could really control their own destiny if they won that game. And they looked pretty good so far. And just the fact that it got away from them feels pretty brutal for them going
they
forward.
They were up, was it 17-0? Or
they were up by 2 scores at some point for sure.
And they had the deflected pick 6?
I'd have to go back and look. But all I know is that I looked at the box score and I saw Jordan Tyson did his thing again, but for Arizona State. But I think he does that against everyone, so I don't think it really matters.
Well, what we're learning about Arizona State is that they are even with like the second group of the Big 12. Like, if Tech is at the top, then I think Baylor.
You saying there's a gap between Tech and everyone else?
I think there might be. be. Maybe Iowa State's up there. But I think Arizona State is, and what we've seen on the field is that they are basically equivalent to Baylor and TCU.
Yeah.
And now, credit to them, they've been on the right side of both of those. But it just, to me, I don't know. And I think if they played Mississippi State again, I'd bet on Arizona State again.
Probably.
Especially if you played in a neutral field. Yeah. But they really, I mean, the second half of that game in Starkville, they were way better than Mississippi State, and they let one play get away from them late. That cost them in the end.
The one other thing on my list, my loser list, is the Colorado student section. See this?
Well, I saw them making some suggestive hand gestures at.
They chanted some things that were not very nice, and
at BYU.
They got hit with a $50,000 fine from the Big 12. So it's going to be the school, the athletic department. Regardless, you don't get to chant and be obviously anti-Mormon, be racist, whatever you want to say, and lose the game at the same time without being dubbed double losers.
Yeah, that's
y'all are losers.
Loser behavior. And Kate, I know that's your home state, but the Colorado student section it's vulgar.
They can just tell them just build the frat houses, I guess. Just build the frat houses, the 50,000.
When A&M went up there and played Colorado in Denver.
Yeah, I hear bad
it's appalling.
Things. Yeah.
It really is. Like that it's not real wholesome. In fact, it's the opposite of wholesome of that student section. And I watched the end of that game. I was pulling for BYU. And
Anthony Volpe hit a home run.
Yeah, he did. Oppo.
is his eyes closed?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter, does it? Eyes closed or open. It goes over
Home
the fence.
run.
It's a home run. All right. So those are our top 5 winners and losers of the college football weekend. And our final segment, top 5 Tuesdays. We do our top 5 winners and losers, and then I send out a just random category to the group, and we discuss our top 5s, and it's a little bit more personal usually. Last week we talked about the top 5 most beautiful places that we've ever been. Cade blew us out of the water because he had a trip to Ireland.
World traveler.
And so he stuffed us in a locker on those. He also probably stuffed us in a locker on our top 5 favorite artist list.
Yeah, a little nudie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really say that stuffed us in a locker, but it just caught us off guard.
Do you listen to any Little Nudie since he brought that
It
up?
was young nudie, but yes.
Oh, young nudie, Little Nudie. Yeah, Little Nudie's.
Little nudie sounds like it's something you go to jail for. All right, so today what we're doing is top 5 feels, and that's not like I'm not talking about feels like happy, sad, or even cold. Like we're talking about
Marvin's room after a baseball loss.
Like something that you do that you're like, man, that's awesome. Like I really enjoy that feeling. Number 5 for me, these are all going to be very personal. I don't know that we're going to have any crossover here. Number 5 for me is sneezing. I love sneezing.
You guys should. I wish we could bring the B team crew or just the TexAgs audience in general into the lobby with you when you sneeze, because it's like you can see you loading up the cannon, and then it is like serious detonation.
I want a slow-mo camera of me sneezing.
It looks painful. It sounds painful.
But I love after you sneeze, like I get like a little endorphin hit. I enjoy it. I like sneezing. I tell my wife all the time, I'll have a big sneeze at home and she'll go, gracious, bless you. I was like, that felt awesome. That felt incredible. So sneezing is a top 5 underrated feeling for me.
Brand new socks. Brand new socks, an amazing feeling, especially like on a hardwood or tile surface. Like just when I was a kid, I used to love sliding around like Risky Business. Like when Tom Cruise slides in, right, when his parents were away. We used to do that, but with mini sticks. So, just play hockey on the hardwood floor. My mom got pissed. Had to replace the flooring. But love brand new socks.
Remind me to read a premium chat before we finish the show later.
Read it now.
Read it right now.
I'll read it now. Okay. Does Arkansas look at Lincoln Riley from Cat D11 Ag?
That's going to be a tough sell. I just think the only drawback to the state is the state of Texas because he's from Texas. I don't think Arkansas. And remember, he ran from the SEC already.
Yeah, that's true.
Agreed.
And he's not going to a place that just announced they're broke.
All right, Cade.
My number 5 was when you hit when I hit like a baseball ball or a tennis ball and there's like not any like reverb or kickback. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you hit it and you get it right on the sweet spot.
Perfect.
Yeah, the perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
I like when you hit the baseball ball.
Sorry, that was a really bad stroke right there.
Department of Redundancy Department. I'll have something similar here coming up, Kate. Number 4 for me, I love fall weather. We get about 2 weeks of it here, but I love being able to wear shorts and a hoodie and be very comfortable, or like jogging pants and a light long sleeve like this. I love that weather. So like if the high is 72 and the low in the morning, maybe getting around 50, 51, that's perfect weather for me. I love fall weather.
4 on my list is the excitement and anticipation you get when you're tracking a package and you see it's out for delivery. That's because as an adult, you don't really have too many fun surprises anymore. So even though you know what you're getting, you're like, ooh, I'm getting a little treat, a little present from myself. I like it. I've ordered one of the new Red Wing jerseys, the Centennial jersey. It hadn't been delivered yet or even shipped. It was a pre-order. But when it comes out and I get that notification on whatever it is, FedEx, UPS, USPS, I'm going to be so happy the entire day because I know I'm getting something really, really cool later.
Especially if it's something you ordered for yourself, you're going to love it.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. Yeah. I'm so pumped. Cade?
My number 4 was when you're done with a workout or like a run, and you're walking after to like cool down. You can like feel all the endorphins hitting. That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
That's runner's high, workout high. Yeah, definitely. I feel that. Number 3 for me, power naps.
Ooh. And
I have perfected them. After I eat lunch, I get on my couch, and I don't even set an alarm. When I go to sleep, it's usually I'm asleep from anywhere from about 12 minutes to 23 minutes. I've tracked this, and it's 4 or 5 days a week I do this. Yeah. It's that short, and like when I wake up, it's awesome. Power naps are sick. Now, if you're a napper and you sleep for like 2.5 or 3 hours in the middle of the day, that ruins you to me. But power naps are electric.
Oh, Cade, why does the music start so early? Cade.
You got the only ones who can hear that, by the way.
Oh, we're the only ones that can hear it.
Correct, yes.
Oh, okay. I can't power nap. Like if I'm napping without an alarm, it's an hour, 2 hours. It's ruining my entire day. 3 on my list is glass of cold ice water after brush your teeth, chewing gum, or eating a mint.
You like that?
I love it. I think it's so cool. Like I just love like how cold it is. Like it's awesome. I love that. I love that.
What about orange juice?
No, orange juice is disgusting. Orange juice is disgusting.
That's crazy though, because it does alter the flavor of the water, and it does hurt my teeth. I got sensitive. I'm a sensitive boy.
I kind of like it. Kind of like it.
It's like well, we're not going to get into that. What it's like. Okay, number 3. I can't hear you.
Cade, we can't hear you.
This one, okay, there we go. This one's pretty simple. It was just like taking a nice hot shower after it's been a long day, getting some music going in the background. Yeah. Just relaxing.
That's my number 2. A shower after yard work.
Oh,
shower after yard work is an elite shower.
My number 2 is telling a joke at the office that gets a good laugh from a group of people not named Luke Evangelist. That's how you know you've gotten a good joke. Well, it's not like Luke, and we love it. Like he laughs a lot. Like it's awesome. But like I'm not gonna judge how good or bad a joke is based off of what I say to Luke, because if it's a terrible joke, he's laughing just because he's having a conversation.
Favorite person to get laughing in the office? Olin Buchanan.
Yes, because he can't stop.
Yeah, him and
it's
McGee.
Thursdays. Yes, with Steve.
McGee. Yep.
McGee texts me. He wants to know if I'm hosting the show on Thursday, and the answer is no. The reason he wants to know is because I told him next time I hosted on a Thursday, I'd put in a lip pillow for the entire segment.
Y'all's dynamic on Film Room's great.
McGee's interesting, dude. He's having way too much fun right now.
I have a bone to pick with him about some of his pregame videos with Will Johnson inside the stadium. I got in the stadium really early, and so I got to watch all of their pregame stuff. Hey, I'm not getting educated by that. Hey, he's cutting corners. We got to talk to him about that. People in there are Stephen McGee. He led the drive. I need this guy. When this guy talks about Aggie football and offense, I need to listen. And he's cutting corners.
I don't want to talk about offense with Stephen McGee. You know why? Because all he did was run the option. There was a moment in the game. Did you see during the game against Auburn where they ran an option on third down? Yeah. And so I sent it to McGee and was like, "Who's calling plays? You?"
Cade, your number 2, best feeling, most underrated feeling. Excuse me.
My number 2, after further review, I'm switching it with my number 1. But my number 2 is like when in baseball when I throw a perfect off speed or like breaking ball, because it like a perfect changeup or a perfect curveball, it feels so right. It just because it goes in the perfect spot. Yeah.
You just throw a 12-6 or traditional?
Right.
It's like
traditional is 12-6.
Yeah, it's kind of like
off axis would be.
Well, the off axis is what's thrown more commonly now, right?
Right, but the traditional, would you say, is a traditional breaking ball is a 12-6?
It would be pretty close to 12-6, probably like in maybe 11-5. I don't know.
Well, my number 1, Cade's giving me great segues for this, and I don't know that it's underrated if you've ever done it, but it's hitting a homer. It's the sickest feeling, man.
Never done it.
Never done it.
I hit one at Alex Box Stadium. And it was the first year of the new box, and it put us up in the 7th inning. And as I'm rounding the bases, the only people I can hear yelling are the McNeese. There's 12,000 people there because it's the first year. And I look up and I can hear my feet hitting the ground. I look up and I can see my dad yelling down the third base line. That was sick. Like hitting homers is sick. It's an incredible feeling.
Can't relate.
Can't
Cannot relate.
unfortunately.
My number one is being able to sit on the couch and just chill out after like deep cleaning the apartment. Like everything's in its spot. Everything looks so clean, so fresh. It doesn't stink anymore. Everything's in its spot where it needs to be. And you can just look and you feel accomplished.
You come over to my house and do that.
Well, I don't do it enough at my own apartment. But you can like put your feet up and watch the game or whatever and just know that everything's where it needs to be for approximately an hour and a half.
Final one, Cade. Wrap us up.
My final one is going to be when you're taking a drive and you get the all green lights. All green lights.
All green lights.
Yeah. Good call.
I did that
lights,
earlier this week on the way.
Down Welborn Road. You'll never get it, but when you do.
Or if I'm going down to Houston and the traffic is like, well, I'm not going to say non-existent, but pretty close to non-existent for Houston standards.
Usually I'm throwing a massive fit coming down 40 in Welborn because I'm hitting every light red because I think like the civil engineering in this city is so messed up.
Okay, let's not go there.
Well,
let's not just throw everybody under the bus and every other.
But today, earlier this week, I did hit all green lights on the way to the office on like Monday morning, and it was beautiful.
All right, that's the Tuesday show. I'll be in the host chair tomorrow morning for TexAgs Live. Join us then, and we'll be back for B Team. Luke in the co-host chair with me for the rest of the week. Richard, thank you. Enjoy your break, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Don't know if it's a good break.